in it when the doctors tell you that you are dying. See how that works. What difference does it make if you're dying? It makes a lot of difference. I'm here to tell you. Okay? Learn to connect with your higher consciousness. Learn to not bring these possibilities, notions that are imposed and put out there in the atmosphere, a possibility. Don't make that a probability. You know how you do that? By expecting it. Expecting the worst and believing something because you think that person knows more than you. It's like the whole reading the cards thing. Okay. I did a series yesterday or the day before on being a light worker. Now, we all pretty much are. We can be. We are. We're moving energy. And if we do it in a positive way, if we're one of the people that were abused and we know damn well that we're not going to perpetuate that into the next generation, you're doing a job right there. Okay? You took on a lot of shit just to stop it. That's a mission, that's a job. That makes you like worthwhile, more worth, because you aren't the one. You aren't the one that perpetuates this kind of abuse and hate and control into our children. Do you see how important that is? You don't have to study cards to be that person. You don't have to take psychic classes. You don't have to be a witch. You don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to be anybody but who you are. The only person that you're going to fight with is your own ego. That's who it is. That's the enemy, okay? Or at least it's the result of the enemy. The enemy, not necessarily the liar, the biggest lie is the shell that we've been put in and the shell that we claim to be who we are. The way we look at it, the way we see ourselves, sometimes is so much different than the way others see us. Believe me, we always have a lower opinion of ourselves. That's not an energy that propels you to a higher consciousness. If you don't expect good things to come to you, if you think you're a loser, you're never going to win. You're never going to get that place, because when it's there, you won't see it. Like the oscillating fan. If your vibration is higher, you will see the opportunities and the possibilities and choices you have. The lower your vibration, the lower the energy around you, the lower amount of light in your general being, or negative light drawing your light, you're never going to really get a clear picture. you're never going to be able to see everything there is to see, and you'll miss out on some of the things that maybe could help you through a difficult time. Now, I kind of want to say a few things about this, and I did kind of get on the whole thing with the health, and I really want to do a series more just on that, but it really reminded me of a time that we really trust people, and sometimes we take on a lot of sickness because we expect to be that way. Sometimes some of the disease and pains and things we feel in our body aren't even our own. They can also be kind of tricky. There's clues as to what it could be. You know, a lot of people feel like, you know, I just feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. Some of those expressions, you know, that person, I didn't get a good vibe off of them. You know, I felt like, you know, I was drowning in my sorrow. A lot of things we relate to our physical body because we've been told this is what we have. This is what we got to work with. And from the day we start, all that we're getting is like poison arrow shot at us, telling us we're not good enough, we don't look right, we don't walk right, we're too fat, we're too skinny, you know, we're not as smart as, we're not as financially, you know, equipped as some other people, we don't understand, we're ugly, we're ditzy, we're, you know, judgment. Not just judgment, but just the whole projection. The projection involves judgment. Judgment is so hard to separate those two things, because if we're saying it about ourselves, we don't call it judgment. We don't think we're judging ourselves. We're judging ourselves on what other people think that we should be, not on what we think we should be. So yeah, we're judging ourselves. Okay? It's not, you know, and that's what breaks down our physical. That's what breaks down our physical. And once there's something inside us that knows, hey, whatever's wrong with you, you did it to yourself. Whether you did it or not, but most times you did it to yourself. And I've thought that so many times, as sick as I've been, you know, even when the doctors poisoned me, I still had this little voice that says, you're just doing this to yourself. I did. Not that I was faking being sick or nothing, but I thought, you know, I started this shit, man. I went there, I took these pills, I believed them, I let them do this, do that, kept taking pills to make me feel better for this pill, even when I didn't want to, I just did it, and holy shit, man. And I know it sounds, and please, I know that I'm not saying that anyone that's ill is like purposely trying to get attention by it, but you end up being that way because you're just in such a carnal, you're in pain, you're just uncomfortable, everybody has to do things for you, your whole focus is on your physical body, and it's a really rotten, terrible trick that your ego plays on you. It makes you sick. Our thoughts make us sick. It ain't the germs, it's the thought that, oh, I'll probably catch it. Because we're in a higher vibration now. The words that we speak and the energy that we move, we get what we expect. We get what we expect, and we get what we think we know, what we've experienced. And, you know, if every time I light this cig, I say this cig is going to kill me, I'm going to get cancer, I say things like this, if I lit my cig and said that every time, I might have already had cancer by now. Obviously, I know how to manipulate this stuff. We all do. We're not doing it as healthy as we should. Me neither. And you might say, oh, that cigarette's going to kill her, but you know what? It means more if I believe that. I don't believe it. You know, maybe someday I'll wake up and my higher self will say, don't smoke another cig. See, I guess I'm trying to say one thing about, the one thing I did want to stress about this is, you know, if you are just kind of waking up, or you're just feeling like maybe it's time to at least start feeling better about life in general, trying to have a little more positive outlook, you know, feeling a little more peaceful, a lot less scared. You know, truth has been hitting you in the face left and right, and, you know, it's pretty hard to contain some of the things that you see going on in the world without feeling pushed to do something about your life, whatever it may be. I mean, this is some pretty colorful times. I mean, so far so good. Still in my house. A meteor hasn't hit it yet. Well, at least not this periodium, you know. I haven't been hit by a meteor. But, you know, I might want to go outside once in a while, because I do like nature. So, I'm going to have to learn how to deal with some of these energies. You know, I've been doing it for a while. I'm pretty used to it. I can handle it. I got pretty tough skin if you know, people jump on me. Oh, don't get me wrong. My feelings get hurt for a second. And then I go on. Because you know what? It don't do no good to let it keep going on. You just got to do something better. Alright? Part of really what I wanted to say, though, is you don't got to be anybody except for who you are, okay, to start this, to start looking at things in a different way, to start listening to your higher self and what it's really trying to tell you, your spirit, your soul, what it is, the part of you that is alive even when there's nothing else, that consciousness. And the first thing that I know that your higher self needs to know, and this is kind of a general thing, is you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay? You're not supposed to be any more advanced or any less advanced. You're not supposed to be you know, completely you know, not smoking any cigarettes and meditating a certain amount of time a day, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay. You need to be at this place and realize that you are supposed to be here. This is not a place of guilt, regret. It's not going backwards. It's anything. Everything that you've had that's happened thus far to this point has brought you here because this is where you're supposed to be. That is the first thing that your higher self wants you to know. There's nothing wrong with where you are. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. The sequence of things in your life has happened that way for that reason. Okay. That's why you're here, and that's where you're supposed to be. The other thing it wants you to know is that there's nothing in your past that you can change. Okay? And the only thing that we really truly have control over is this moment. That's it. Anything in our past, at this point, in this particular reality, in this world, is only a step to get you where you are right now. If there's things that you've done in the past that you've asked forgiveness for, and those people still haven't forgiven you, that is not your hang-up. Okay? You need to forgive yourself. You cannot control how people feel, especially things in the past, no matter what you've done in the past. All that you can do is try to go on from that and be a better person. There's nothing you can do to change it. And you can't change the perception of someone. You know, they've already internalized that. They've taken an action and turned it into a feeling, and that's something they have to release, not you. So forgive yourself for the things that other people can't forgive you for. Okay? Forgive yourself, period, every day. Because, you know what? It ain't our fault we got trapped in these damn skin vehicles. Well, maybe it is. I think we picked it, but, you know, we don't know that. Alright. The other thing is, the other thing that your higher self needs you to know is you have everything that you need right now. Okay? You don't need to go to all these classes and pay hundreds and thousands of dollars. You don't need to pay even, you know, a couple $1,000s and go drink ayahuasca before you get on your path. I mean, if you want to, you know, cool. But you don't have to. Okay? You don't have to be trained to be a psychic. You don't have to be trained to be a clairvoyant. Alright? This is not the time for study. Some of us have studied it. Yeah, cool. And it keeps the tradition going on, and I can show you some things and you might pick up on it. But chances are, if you are going to move forward in this dimension as a light being, as a light worker, you're equipped. We're all equipped. Okay? We're equipped with this knowledge already. And that is very important. That's one thing. You don't have to be anywhere other than where you are to start. You don't have to have any special certificate or anything like that. This is not an ego competition. All the skills and all the knowledge you have already inside you. Okay. fourthly, I was talking about judging ourselves. The only true judge, and this is what your higher self wants you to know, the only person that truly you can judge, and really who is judging you is you. You may have taken on beliefs that other people have told you to believe to be true, and you judge yourself through that, but honestly, you are the person. You are the one and the only one that can judge you. And if you have nothing to compare that to except for who you are, there's no judgment. You need to forgive and have no regrets. Don't judge yourself according to other people. Only look at yourself in ways that you can raise your vibration and uplift yourself. Nothing is wrong with you. Okay? The other thing, security. You are secure where you are. Okay? Don't allow other people to make you feel not secure in who you are. You're okay. You're fine the way you are. And your higher self wants you to know that. You know, there is no insecurity. There's a completeness there. It's within your reach. But these doubts that people have put on you and that you've put on yourself by believing that you need some sort of middleman to be in touch with your divine self, or the approval of someone else, shakes our security. You need to feel secure and trust your higher self to guide you. We're going to have our cage rattled a lot coming up. It's going to be scary. All these political changes, all these things around us, for people who are still extremely struggling in ego with the material world, money, things like that, it's going to be really, really tough. It's going to be really hard. Some people are scared to death if they get down to a low amount of money in their wallet because they're